Hello, my Grimling.
Oh, and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place. I bid you well.
Sorry, were you waiting for me to stop?
Yeah. Hello, Grimlings! So, as promised, this is the spoilery review of the Babadook, and I have with me my best friend, my sister, the mother of dragon, the mother of monsters. Hello!
Hello?
So, the Babadook. First off, what did you think of the movie?
Well, I know that you thought that it was really slow, and a lot of times it was slow, but I found a really deep appreciation for the Babadook being into the mother myself.
Yeah. So, alright, so let's start with, like, the bones of this. Okay, let's start with the movie itself. What'd you think of the casting? I thought Essie Davis did a great job as the mother.
Yeah, I honestly thought she was really brilliant. I enjoyed her acting. I'm not sure if I've ever seen her in anything else before, though. Have you?
Not that I can think of. You know, the name is very familiar, Essie Davis. I'm sure, I think I might have seen her in something before, but I can't remember. But yeah. What do you think of Noah? I mean, I know you have two young children. They can be quite a handful. How do you think Noah did as being a kid? Because that is something Hollywood struggles to get right.
I think that Noah, for what he's gone through,
Mm-hmm.
for what his character has gone through, like the whole growing up without a father, and literally just having a mother, and then kind of growing up with people being condescending towards his mother in those situations. I think his behavior at some point was extreme, but was also appropriate in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Because my kids are kind of full of hooligans themselves, and or if they haven't climbed to the top of the swing set yet, they climbed on top of other things that are pretty high for their age, and I could definitely see that in my future for some odd reason.
Yeah, not something you're ever hoping to see, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not hoping to see that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So my biggest thing, the thing I liked the most about the movie was the whole atmosphere, the build-up of it, the way it just kind of, as much as I hated how slow it felt to me, I did love how it built the atmosphere, how it, evolved into this complete shitstorm, before, exploding and then simmering down. What was your favorite part of it?
Honestly, my absolute favorite part, which I'm actually about to do it now, is when he first gets the Mr. Babadook book, and she reads it to him the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going through it, and kind of, freaking out a little bit, because she's like, I don't know where this book came from, and all of a sudden my son loves it and wants me to read it. I thought that was really interesting, and I also liked how she constantly tried to get rid of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it always reappeared. But yeah, definitely favorite human when she initially said in the book by far. Kind of creepy and sweet and fun all at the same time.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned in my my non-spoiler review, I thought it was really great how they showed just how much of a struggle it is for single moms. As a single mom, how much of that really rang true to you? The struggles that she was going through?
A lot of her struggles are extremely valid, and they're definitely things that single moms experience, which I think is kind of harsh for a lot of directors and actors to portray. And maybe it would get across correctly, but I think a lot of her struggles really highlight and show you how difficult it can be to be a single parent. Now, not everybody's a single parent, and there are circumstances where the father has died, but for theirs it was accurate. For mine it's different, but it was really great. Like I said, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a movie that I could watch multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching it again right now.
Yeah. Which is completely understandable. As I said, I mean, as much as it's not, like, one of my favorites, I did think it was a really good movie that everyone should at least watch once.
Yeah, I definitely agree that everybody should watch this movie at least once. I think if you're a single parent, you should benefit from it more than once, because it definitely shows some struggles that normal single parents feel and she feels, and it's an interesting take on it.
Now, and this is something that it just kind of occurred to me, and I think I mentioned it also in my review. Not only are you also a single parent, but you're also a nurse, and you have worked in assisted living facilities. So, I mean, did that make the character even more relatable to you?
I definitely made it more relatable to me. There have been many times where I've been sitting in an area trying to go with residents and calling out numbers and nobody being responsive, and for calling out the random numbers, I can relate to that. Not that I've ever done
it. You've just thought about it, yeah.
But it's definitely something that I can see why she did and why she had a struggle with. Being a single parent is super hard. Being any kind of a nurse or an orderly or a CNA is a difficult job in itself.
Yeah.
Dealing with, I guess, just the concept of trying to help people who can no longer help themselves, and also the knowing that they're going to probably pass at any given time, especially in assisted living and in some in a lot of long-term care.
Yeah.
So I feel like that almost took like a cloud over you some days.
Yeah.
So I feel like that contributed to her character's struggle as well.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just, like, throw this out there. I am continuously in awe of what you do. I think it's amazing. You know, right now you're in school, going for your next, whatever, your next license, I guess, would be the right term.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a single mom, and you do have that really, really hard job. I mean, the only medical profession I've ever considered was coroner, so, you know, I am forever...
I would love to be a coroner. I understand, it's okay.
You know, so I am just completely in awe.
Thank you.
So...
That's just why you're my best friend and my sister right there.
Yes, truly you are the Khaleesi. You are the queen. So at what point did you kind of start to feel that there actually was a Babadook and not just her mental state? You know. Did that make sense? I mean, because I kind of, you know, for me, the moment that I really started to think that there actually was a Babadook, a real creature, was when she got the book back the second time. You know, after she had ripped it up and thrown it in the trash. So what was sort of that moment for you where you were like, oh yeah, there's definitely something going on here?
For me, I think that probably when Sam sat there and ran and jumped into her bed, actually, when she was using the vibrator. And I was like, Barbara? He was freaking out that it was, like, in his closet.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, that's kind of, like, what did it for me, because kids can, they can make things up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just that you kind of get, like, a strange or weird feeling about it. And I feel like after that scene, a lot of things began to unfold. Where, you know, really showed that the Babadook was there and was coming.
Right.
So,
well, and see, for me, I think that's
the thing for me. It's like, hey, but I have kids too, so.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing.
Doors open, I'm gonna hide, you know.
Yeah, and you see, I think that's the thing, because you actually have kids, you're used to dealing with them. Whereas for me, everything after that point is kind of like, okay, is she insane? Is she not? I don't really know, and it's not until, you know, she destroys the book and then she gets it back that it's like, oh, shit.
You know, there were some scenes, though, where I definitely thought that maybe at first that she was just kind of crazy. Like with, when she moved the refrigerator back initially, and there were the bugs coming out of it, and then the people,
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. The bug scene creeped me out because that's kind of like something out of my own nightmares. And I think it is for a lot of people.
I mean, nobody really likes that much. Well,
yeah, but, I mean, you remember where I lived before. I lived at my grandmother's. She has a trailer in a very wooded area, and so no matter what you did, there was no way to keep the bugs out. Like, you would literally carry them in on your clothes, and that was always, like, super creepy for me. So yeah, that scene, like, just was like, no. Do not want.
No, I can completely agree with you there, since I lived in the countryside of Georgia.
Yeah.
Here, there, I haven't seen a big old problem with bugs, which has been really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Out in Oregon. I love it out here, by the way. But, I don't know, sometimes I'll go hiking at a local mountain that's close by.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not any insects or bugs.
Yeah.
There's lots of wildlife, like the little the snakes and the deer that'll just kind of like run across your house. I was putting rooms out there.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaked me out a little bit too.
Well, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I totally think the Pacific Northwest is amazing. I do intend to, like, finally put down roots there someday in the future, but, yeah.
You're gonna live in a hobbit hole like right next to me. That's
yes.
gonna happen.
Well, we'll have matching hobbit holes.
We will, and it's gonna be epic.
Yes. We just have to we just have to grab the rest of them, you know.
I got this under control. Don't worry about it.
Yes. So what did you think? There's a scene in the movie, I don't know if you remember it or if you've gotten to it yet, where she's watching TV and it's a lot of black and white stuff with the Babadook popping up occasionally. And it's very art house. What did you think of that kind of surreal experience there? Because for me that was really fun. I enjoyed it, but what did you think?
One second, I'm actually going to skip ahead to that first like, and I'll rewatch it really quickly. So I know where it's at. It's actually at about...
It's closer to the end, I think.
No, it's like, it's not halfway through. I think it's like 60-something minutes in.
Yeah, that's right, it is. It's a little bit... I think it's a little bit past the halfway point.
Yeah, which is what I just forgot. So let me let it load, but... I basically remembered it as soon as you said it, and then I was like, oh, I don't remember exactly. So.
Well, while you're watching that, real quick, I mentioned in my review that I loved how they addressed how mean kids can be. What did you think about that?
I mean, it's pretty much...
Like when his yeah. I mean, I could not believe that they actually put that in there, though. I mean, his cousin is flat out telling him that the reason he doesn't have, like, he didn't deserve a father because he's so weird, and it's like, wow. Let's not pull any punches here.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to get started on my opinion of the sister quite yet.
Yeah, no, we'll address that, I'm sure.
I thought that her child was really rude and extremely informed of how life can be for different people in different situations, especially having a cousin that lost a father in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that they addressed how mean kids can be because, I mean, honestly, it's completely true. Kids can be terribly mean. Like, just the other day, actually, Crystal saw somebody with curly hair,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't mean to say her name like that. She saw somebody with curly hair, though, and he said, "Oh, they're a weirdo like me." And I said, "What do you mean?" I was like, "No one's weirdo." He goes, "Well, one of the kids at my school said I was a weirdo because I had curly hair."
Yeah.
And anybody that's ever seen my daughter knows that she has, like, ringlet curls. I don't know where she gets it from, but
They're adorable, by the way. Absolutely adorable.
I know, I love her curls. I think they're very cute.
You have the
But
cutest damn kids.
some other child did not appreciate them, and they called my daughter a weirdo. And, you know, honestly, I don't think it's good for kids to be bullied, because it's not. But, I mean, I feel like they'll kind of, like, put their skin up and, you know, make her realize that not everybody's nice and everybody's going to be a friend. But
Yeah.
at the same time, to me, it's really sad that a 4-year-old came home and saying she's a weirdo, all because she has curly hair. I mean, to me, out of all the things that would make her a weirdo, it definitely wouldn't be that.
No, definitely not. And, I mean, especially when and I'm sure, you know, you and I, we're older, we've embraced being the weird, the strange, the different.
I'm fine with that, but she's not old enough to now acknowledge that. So.
Yeah, she's not really quite to the point where she can realize that, okay, being weird is a good thing. So, yeah.
I told her that there's nothing wrong with being different, but she doesn't quite understand it yet.
Yeah.
She will, but it's not right now.
So, have you refreshed your memory on that scene that I was talking about?
I was going to say, I literally just started watching it.
Awesome. So, what did you think? I mean, because I loved it. I loved the craziness of it. And that's saying something because I'm not a nurse.
Unique, and it was, if I was her, I think I would have freaked out a little bit more than she did. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think she
But then you actually watch horror movies. I mean, because that is one thing that definitely separates you from this character. You do actually watch horror movies. You enjoy them.
Yeah, I do.
So you're a bit more suspicious. You're a bit more suspicious of strange things happening.
That's true. I am. You could ask anybody. I'm very paranoid.
I feel like I should point out.
Look out for all the scary movie stuff.
I feel like I should point out, if you're watching this video, it was actually Khaleesi who got me into watching horror movies, you could say. So yeah.
It was who?
You, my dear mother of monsters.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you called me by name for a second. I was like, I think she meant me, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I called you Khaleesi. My mother of monsters.
Yeah. Sorry, to anybody watching this, you should know that Mother of Monsters likes to indulge into a glass or two of wine after her little monsters have gone to bed. So.
Yeah.
Nice. That's adulting for you.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're adorable kids, and they're absolutely quite possibly the greatest kids ever. But I am amazed entirely because they are quite a handful. I mean, you remember that time you came to to our house to fish with the kids?
Yes. I did a two fish fries at your house. My wife both.
Yes, and both times, I mean, they were really cute and really sweet kids, but they were definitely a handful, and I think that was their best behavior too.
I honestly think that they were pretty well behaved.
Yeah.
Because it was you, me, and Cass, and it was all of us halflings.
Yeah. Well, and let's be honest, Cass is sort of like the ultimate aunt here. like,
She
to
really
all of
is,
us.
because there have been so many times where I've been stressed out with school or life, and she'll just be like, come over, and I'll come over, and she will just completely help me.
She's got one of those, she's got one of those really warm, inviting personalities that just makes you feel.
Oh my gosh.
Cass just makes you feel like $1,000,000. You feel like a priceless treasure with her.
Well, they're moving to Alaska.
Yeah, so they'll be near you. So I'll have like twice the incentive to visit.
Exactly, but even when she was going out there with her moving out there, she asked me exactly where I lived so they could try to plan stuff.
Yeah.
So that just shows you what kind of person she is. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And you have to come to town when she stops by the way. I'm like, it's unfortunate you. It's not optional. I'll kidnap you.
Yeah, totally.
Get on the record here. I will kidnap you.
I'm cool with that. So, the ending scene. I really want to talk about this before we just completely get off topic. The ending of the movie.
I said my dad, so I'm really bad about getting off topic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we both kind of did it, and I'm not sure how. But anyway, the ending scene with the bowl of worms. So how did you interpret the whole ending sequence? Because we start with her just completely losing her shit, and she kills the dog, which always hurts my heart. I'm a huge proponent of the no more dead dog thing. So it's right up there with the stop killing our gays. But she kills the dog, and she goes after the kid, and there's this huge fight between... Well, not really a fight. There's this huge sequence between her and the kid when the kid, saves her from the Babadook. And then she just, completely turns into Badass of the Year. And then you've got this scene afterwards where she's feeding worms to the Babadook, which is now living in her basement. So, what did you think of this whole sequence? I mean, it was kind of a whirlwind for me. It was like, whoa, where did this come from? I mean, it's great, but it's like, holy shit. So how was that for you?
I personally found it really, really off. Most of it was a giant whirlwind as well. To me, I think one of the things that really got me about that is seeing how she's eating the Babadook, the bowl of worms, and he just kind of snatches it and puts her towards them, is when she comes back out, and Danny is just like, how was it? And, she's just super quiet today, completely nonchalant about the fact that they're feeding worms to the monster in the basement.
Yeah, that's...
I think that kind of got to me because I was just like, oh, this isn't super normal. This isn't a little family affair type deal.
Yeah, and
it makes me wonder about who the Babadook really is.
It does.
I don't feel like I really pinpointed what kind of entity it was.
No, I never got that either. There was a different reviewer who was talking about how he thinks it's a physical manifestation of her anguish and her resentment of her situation, but I never felt like that really quite fit it right. Well, I don't know what it is.
Maybe, I don't really feel like she or Samuel resented the situation. I definitely got that, it was very difficult for them, but I don't feel like they resented it because I felt she loved Samuel enough to not resent the fact that, she was born the day of that day. I never got that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that entity would be, I don't know, I don't think that would be for English or anything by any means.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I didn't direct or write the movie or anything, so.
You know what? I kind of feel like with the title of it and with the way they set it up, like the Babadook was supposed to be like this old folkloric figure. You know, kind of like how the Jersey Devil or the Banshee. But they never actually established it as such. Like I think they kind of tried to with the picture book thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like they tried to kind of like show you who he was supposed to be, but I don't feel like it was ever written in stone.
Yeah, it was never really well established.
I feel like it's almost to the viewer's imagination, really, and I feel like it could be a lot of different things, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Samuel clearly was going through quite a bit of turmoil, so I almost feel like it could have been something from, inside of what Samuel was experiencing rather than what she was experiencing.
That's an interesting idea, kind of going with like a poltergeist kind of thing. A lot of parapsychologists believe that poltergeists are actually the subconscious manifestation of psychics. Not that they're like ghosts or anything, but that they're the energy manifesting itself in a physical form.
See, yeah, and I almost feel like it would be more of that than from the mother and the...
Could it kind of be like, maybe it's kind of like a combined thing, like it's both of them, their stress kind of colliding and creating this monster, maybe?
Maybe. That's actually a really good point. It could be both of their emotions combined. I mean, easily, because it's pretty easy to see how many emotions there were throughout the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
I feel like it manifested more from the boy than the mom, because she was very depressed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like she was, like, as angry as Samuel was, and to me, the Babadook comes across as more like an angry entity,
Now, see, and for me, it was always more. I thought the Babadook was more kind of like fed up, not that it was fed up, but more that it reached, like it pushed her to the point of being fed up, to where she was at the end of her rope. So it wasn't so much anger, so much as, you know what, I'm through with this. That was kind of how I read it on her end.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's face it, I mean, we've both had days where we've just kind of wanted to throw in the towel and say, you know what, screw you, to the universe.
Oh. I mean, yes, I definitely have those days, and I definitely know you have, too. I guess I just felt like it more came from Samuel, but...
Yeah, I know, and I can totally see that. I definitely can understand where that feeling that it would be more Samuel would come from. Because let's face it, Samuel is definitely the more emotional character.
Well, he is, and just from the beginning, some of the things he did I felt were kind of odd for a child to do. I mean, not completely unheard of, like the kind who top of the place that, I'm sure could do that, but I just feel like it wasn't
completely normal.
Textbook child behavior, even for they're acting out. I mean, I know that when Bristol both times been top of their little playhouse before, but
yeah,
that's not nearly as high as Sunset.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I was that weird kid. I wanted to, but I could never quite figure out how to get up there. So I just kind of contented myself with climbing up to the top of the monkey bars.
Okay, when I was a kid, I would always try to get my swing set. Like when I was swinging on it, I always wanted my swing all the way over.
Yes, I did that too.
I could never get it to do that, so
I did that too. I did.
Just give up.
And to just put this into perspective, the swing set we had in my backyard was never bolted down, so every time you swung too high, it would thunk.
Oh, no, that's how yours was too. If you were swinging super high, you could feel the whole swing set slowly rock with you.
Yeah, and you'd actually pick up, the front legs would actually pick up.
And, yeah, that's exactly the things that I have.
Oh my god, how did we survive childhood? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but here's some of the things that he did. I'm just I'm so lucky to be alive.
I know. It's like, wow, that could have ended really badly.
It could have, but some parents nowadays think that letting a child drink from a hose will kill them, so, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, and
it's perspective.
You know, and I think totally, I think part of the reason why we survived childhood is because we spent so much time in Europe. Because there's definitely a very different culture there for, regarding children. So I think we benefited greatly from that.
I do. I think it made us rather relentless, honestly.
Yeah. If nothing else, I think it made us more comfortable with ourselves.
It definitely did, because that was, especially when I was in high school in France, that was a huge thing, was that not everybody would really go on to high school past age 15 or 16, because some people would choose to become bakers or hairstylists, or, do a different, do it straight instead of going to college. And where I was at in Europe, they just accepted that, but not everybody is going to get a bachelor's degree, and they supported that. And to me, that was so important, because they realized that they needed other things. Yeah,
and you were in France, I was in Germany, it was the same there. And yeah, I totally feel that, especially now I'm looking at cosmetology programs. And I think it would just be so much easier if there had have been that easy kind of acceptance of it here in the States.
Well, and that's like I'm doing an LPN program, which is a licensed practical nursing program, for anybody that doesn't know. And that's it's a licensure, so it's more like a certificate,
right,
than it is an actual degree, because it's not an associate or bachelor's. And when I tell people that, sometimes they kind of act surprised and like, well, why didn't you, just get the associate's degree? And really, it's just, at this point in time, it wasn't available to me, and I couldn't do it. I wish I could, but it's not. And I hope to bridge over and get an actual degree and become an RN. But a lot of people don't realize that even having LPNs is super important, because not all RNs want to do the roles that LPNs play in a lot of nursing homes and long-term care. And so I think it's important to see that just because somebody's role or their job they choose to do might not be as high on the pay scale as yours, or it might not come with a degree, it's still extremely important, because we still need people to fill those roles.
Right. Which I think, and this is kind of segueing into my next question. How do you think the fact that the movie... Let me rephrase. Okay, so the movie is definitely set someplace other than the U.S. How do you think that affects it? I think it's
Australian.
Yeah.
It's Australian, right?
It's an Australian-Canadian film. I think it's set in Australia, though, definitely.
There's Australian-Canadian?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah. Well, they're both Commonwealth countries. I'm not surprised that they collaborated. But how do you think it affects the movie that it's not an American film, that it's not set in America? Because, let's face it, there's a lot of American stereotypes that are definitely missing, and thank God for that. But American cinema does have a sort of specific feeling to it. And I can't imagine that an American movie would have had quite the same attention to Amelia's struggles as a single mother, to Samuel's struggles as a child without a father. So what did you think?
That it was a much more accurate portrayal. But I've seen that in a lot of foreign films, that we tend to, they just tend to really show things as they are. Right. Because I feel like in America you see a lot of movies. You'll see movies, I guess, or shows about single moms and men, and, they're like, basically it's just a lot of drama. But at the end of the day, everybody's fine financially, ability-wise.
Right, they're
they
not.
don't really show like a true struggle of what being a single parent or the really like I guess the mental health issues that could come into play or psychophysical issues
Right.
of being a parent on. And I feel like this movie actually portrayed those, whereas a lot of American films that I've seen don't quite get that. To me, it's either
I think part of it...
completely over the top, really.
Yeah.
It's too much, whereas this movie was accurate, but the other movies are just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I think...
not really but true.
I think part of it is that Americans don't necessarily want to look at what really is part of being a single parent. Like there's such a... And I know you've felt this, I've seen this. A lot of Americans want to focus on, single parents should get remarried and, give the kids a mother and a father.
I want to have this great blended family and everything's going to be perfect. But that's really not always how it works, especially being a younger single parent.
Yeah.
A lot of, I would say most guys made that I meet, if they're interested in dating, they don't want a family for, another 4 or 5 years down the road.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine because they're entitled to what they want. But I'm just saying that it kind of, it's much more difficult than a lot of they think it is. You can't just get remarried, blend your families, and snap your fingers and, have the red shoes and everything's going to be perfect.
This is real life, not an episode of Bewitched. We can't twinkle our nose like Samantha and everything be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I really like about Babadook was they definitely showed some bigger struggles that a lot of films in America don't touch on. And I'm really glad that they did that because I think it's important because in a lot of other countries, mental health is it's not frowned upon. They actually will
help
try to figure out the problem and have a solution or at least have a game plan. Whereas in America, there are so many people that will go undiagnosed with mental health for years and years because that just, for some odd reason, we just don't want to deal with mental health and we want that to be like the last possible scenario.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I personally kind of trace back like every major problem that I see with American society. I kind of trace it back to our Puritan beginnings because it's like, okay, this whole emotionally and societally repressed thing, I think kind of like backfired in our face. It's had far too much of an impact.
Well, I agree with that too, but I feel like a really big issue for us is the fact that a lot of churches and religion, which I have no problem with, a lot of people, I go to church and I love it, but I'm also of the pagan beliefs that I love.
Yes.
But in America, we try to separate, nowadays, we try to combine church and state, whereas before we were founded on a country that had it separate because...
Right.
And so many people forget that that's what America was based off of, with, people having their own little opinions and stuff, and like that's extremely important.
Yes, definitely. So let me see. We haven't talked about the sister yet. You said you wanted to save that for later. Do you want to talk about her now? Because let's be honest, the only thing I can ever possibly say about this woman is, what a bitch.
The sister's behavior, attitude, just literally everything about her was extremely repulsive.
Yes.
Managed to be nice, be a decent human being. I mean, there was just so much, like, such a basic sense of, like, wow, like, lacking from her in general. It was really disheartening because she actually, I have one older sister too, which has children.
Right.
Well, I have one older sister, and she doesn't have children. But a lot of the kind of like her remarks and stuff were all too familiar and hit all too close to home.
Right.
So,
I think. Go
I
ahead.
think her character for me was very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. You know,
And
she was just very draining.
well, I'm gonna say emotionally, she just kind of sucked the life out of you because she just was never happy about any little thing or with her friends.
Right.
It's just the things that was wrong with everyone. I was just kind of like thinking like, that's not even a real like problem. Like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
But
you know,
I understand that everybody kind of has like, well, I mean, not kind of. Everybody does have their own takes on situations.
right.
But I just really felt like the sisters in general, her character was very condescending, was just not willing to accept what had happened to her. So she just wanted everything to be perfect because it seemed like she thought the total was wrong with it.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah. Well, she was a one character I could have not thought what about that.
Yeah. You know, I felt like the sister was like emotionally draining. Like every time that Amelia interacted with her, I felt drained from watching and dealing with the sister. Like it was like, and I can only imagine if it drained me to watch it, how much did it drain Amelia to, physically experience that?
See, like, aside from some of the things that I've dealt with from my own family members, from being like a young single mom, I can't even imagine how her character sort of like felt and how she even managed to kind of like cope with it all because it was just really, really rough to listen to and to deal with, and I don't know.
Yeah, and there's like
I want to say something good about her sister, but it's like
there's
like
nothing.
good to say about the sister.
There's
or the
nothing.
daughter. They were just like so mean.
Yeah, the thing is, and that's the thing, there's nothing good to say about the sister because the sister is completely unsympathetic to the fact that her sister is suffering. Like, in a way, and I don't know if you saw this or noticed this or felt this, but it almost feels like the sister is offended that Amelia is still struggling after 7 years. And it's like, well, yeah, her husband died and she's a single mother. And, and it's...
I think she came across as, like, offended in many senses.
Mm-hmm.
And I also felt like she kind of came across as, just, like, jealous. It's kind of like the fact that her sister still had all these emotions and stuff, and that maybe people sat there and actually looked at how she felt and believed it, whereas the sister, she kind of was a little Miss Perfect person and kind of wanted the attention on her.
Right, and I can see that. I could definitely see her as being like a candidate for Munchausen's by proxy.
I don't know.
For those of you watching who might not know, Munchausen's is a mental syndrome where a person will injure themselves in order to get attention. Munchausen's by proxy is when a person will injure those around them in order to get attention. I can't remember the name. There was a book a few years ago that I read. It was a mystery novel where the mother had killed her kid because of Munchausen's by proxy.
Well, that's also where people will make other people, and like, if it's a mother, normally they'll make those children very sick by,
right.
poisoning them or something because they want the attention.
Yeah, that's what...
Also when they actually pass away.
Yeah, that's what had happened in the book, was the mother was using salt poisoning. She was feeding her daughter far too much salt, causing her to be dehydrated and really sick. It was like a Patricia something another, I can't remember, like Patricia Cunningham or something. I don't remember. Kay Scarpetta was the name of the detective in the book. If anybody has any ideas, let me know.
I was going to say another good movie with Joseph was in The Sixth Sense, which is something that a lot of people have seen.
I haven't seen that one yet.
You need to watch The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, because in one of the scenes, they show, I forget who it is, they actually go into the room and play a tape, but it actually shows the mother putting some kind of, I don't know if it was like a poison or what, in the kid's food.
Right.
The girl's food that ended up dying, but she had that syndrome where she, killed a kid.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, that's probably a thing that, like, a lot of people have seen that, it happened in.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's probably a lot more likely, especially since the only reason I knew about the book was because of my brief belief that I was going to become a medical examiner.
Yeah, so, The Sixth Sense, definitely a big one where they show a good example of that.
Yeah. So we have talked about the filmography, we've talked about the cinematography, we talked about the different characters, the movie. Was there anything you wanted to address that you just kind of feel like is something should be talked about?
Oh gosh. I feel like we've covered everything for the most part. I'm not really sure if there's anything else that I would want to address, except for the fact that the bugs coming from the fridge, or behind the fridge, really, that one kind of freaked me out a good bit.
Yeah, that was definitely not a fun scene. That does remind me though, what did you think of the CPS people? The Child Protective Services people? Like, I don't know what they're called in Australia, but
I honestly was just kind of like, I don't know. I was like dumbfounded how they just kind of like randomly showed up, and then would just kind of like randomly come in. To me, it seems like it's getting involved with somebody. I don't know. They were like trying to get us more involved than they were, not just like randomly show up. Like,
Well, see, the thing. Yeah, well, see, the thing that gets me about them is, we talked about the end scene, but right before the scene with the worms where she feeds the Babadook, they actually show up at the house again, and they don't know that her husband died in a car accident the day her son was born. It's like, I'm sorry, if you're trying to, like, understand what's going on with this kid, shouldn't that be, like, the first thing on the page?
Yeah, you would think, but unfortunately that's not quite how it works, I don't think, a lot of the time. And I mean, it should, but it's just not.
Yeah, because I mean, that is, especially if you're going to be saying, that this is for the good of the child, you need to actually know about the kid.
Well, exactly, but a lot of the time, I think that, like, CPS workers in general will have, like, one agenda, and that's to just fix the current situation, like, at hand, like, why the children are in school, so let's just keep them, get them in school,
Right.
Instead of sitting there and being like, okay, like, what's really causing this? What can we do to help it from, relapsing in the future?
Right.
I don't think that that's necessarily a concern to a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it should be, but it's not. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely a job that should be by calling instead of by,
By paycheck. Oh, yeah. I agree.
Because
the people that were there clearly didn't have that job by calling.
Well, I mean, and I don't think the woman was quite as bad. I mean, she was definitely as bad in the fact that she didn't know what was going on. But I do think she genuinely kind of cared about the kid, about Samuel. So another thing, of course, early on in the film, we talked about him being taken out of school. What did you think of the principal and that teacher? I mean, because I can seriously understand why Amelia would not want her kid in that school. They literally referred to Samuel as the boy the entire time.
Yeah, that really irked me, honestly. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't think there was any expectation of me to call him, like, the boy.
Mhm.
I was just kind of, like, sitting there, like, waiting for them to, like, be like, Samuel, like, Samuel this or Samuel that. But no, they literally called him the boy, and I was just, like, sitting there, like, dumbfounded, because it's like, you know, these are, like, pictures, and I feel like they're supposed to see Samuel, and I don't think she was, like, not necessarily hard times, but it's the basic schooling, and if they can't even refer to him by his name,
Right.
to me, it's kind of like, what are they doing there?
Yeah.
Like, they clearly don't have his best interest at heart.
No.
So, for me, that was just really perplexing. I just didn't feel anything good about his overall well-being, his education, or really how he was ultimately doing.
Now I know that in the past you've had issues with caregivers, with schools.
Like, well,
Yeah.
where do we start?
Yeah, I know. How? I mean, as a parent, how frustrating is that for you? Because I mean, it's frustrating for me to hear about it as your friend and your sister, because I just kind of want to go down there and smack them for you. But I mean, as a mother, it's got to be 1,000 times worse.
For me, I feel like the hardest part of a single parent is dealing with, oh gosh, people, you know, kind of being, you know, just like flat out, like rude or judgmental against your kid. It's just so difficult because so many of the people just have no idea what they're talking about, and they talk to their ass, basically.
Yeah.
They sit there and they act like they're concerned, but they're really not concerned. They just don't want to have to sit there and try to help a child that has any issues.
Right.
They have, like, we need to have children at their schools, and it's just, even the children that had, you know, some children had two parents at home, or two parents involved in their life, you know, those kids have problems too.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun when people were more condescending towards my kids, because I was a single parent, but at the same time, I know I feel like I kind of learned from that,
Mhm.
and I don't, or at least I try not to let it bother me.
Right.
Because I feel like if they don't want to get to know my kids and how often they are, then at the end of the day, that's really their loss. It's not mine, because I know how often my kids are.
Absolutely, your kids are amazing. And this is from me, who doesn't even really like kids. So yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah. But this is you guys don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not like kids. The least kids. She likes my kids and she likes her little sister. That's it.
Yeah, that's basically the extent of my fondness of children. And the nephew that I have not yet met. Kay's kid. The nephew that I have not yet met.
I thought that wasn't he, is he adopted?
Yes. Yes, he was. And that was very
So
successful.
Are we going to meet him now?
Huh?
Will we still get to meet him?
I'm sure we will. I'm sure that someday it will happen. I just don't know when. I'm sure he'll be an awesome kid, though. Because she and the father are both still involved in his life. So yeah.
Just another example of how adoption can be beneficial for a child.
Yes.
If anybody's wondering.
Yeah. This is kind of our little soapbox. So if you're on this channel,
That's why I've been on this. Like, I totally felt like this. I'm just like, man, what am I going to tell these people next day?
I know. Yeah, it's
fun though.
Yep. This is our own personal soapbox. Oh, there was something else. I had just thought of it, and now it's gone. Crap.
No, remember.
Yeah. What did you think of Noah's level of creativity? Samuel's creativity in the show, with the whole building the traps for the monsters, and I was totally enamored with the little crossbow.
I actually thought his little mini catapult, that he wore was pretty impressive.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie, because I was an archery dork. I loved the crossbow.
I thought he was really brilliant though when it came to the building things.
Mm-hmm. And the fight with the Babadook, with his mother when she was possessed by the Babadook.
Exactly.
And how crazy was that when he flat out stabs her in the thigh?
Well, it was needed.
Right, but I mean,
it was impressive though, because not many children, or at least I don't think that many children would just be able to understand it that's what they used to do, and that they would actually go through with it and do it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think one of my kids would maybe do it. And I know we can guess which one.
Yes, Little Miss Priss, definitely Little Miss Priss.
Yes, let's say the girl with the curly hair. But I don't think my son could do anything like that. But Bree definitely could.
To be fair, your son is quite possibly one of the sweetest kids ever.
He is so nice and so gentle. He actually, when Samuel was having his sweet moments with his mother, it reminded me so much of Ben.
Yeah.
So much of Ben. And then he would go into those kind of praise modes.
And that's definitely Bree.
Because when he would build things, he still reminded me of Ben, because Ben loves to build things.
Right.
He'd go to those praise modes where he'd be so brave and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's like my daughter.
There's little Bree.
That's just
yes.
Bree. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and I think it says something that I could see that, and yeah, and I'm not their mom, so yeah. So I think we've covered. So I think we've covered everything. I mean, we talked about the movie, we talked about the cinematography, we talked about the characters.
We talked about some stuff that wasn't even relevant to the movie.
Right. So I guess all that's left is to say goodbye to our dear Grimlings.
Bye, Grimlings.
We'll definitely do this again. You have to do it. We have to do Let Us Pray together. You know how I feel about that movie.
Oh, I can't believe you're going to actually let me do another one of these after this. I'm so excited.
Yes. You're going to do a lot of them with me, I'm sure. But yeah,
I might even be able to throw some random nursing stuff into this, so we might be able to
yeah, well, we can make it educational.
Make it a cool thing. It'll be awesome.
We can even make it educational, absolutely. So, so I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave any questions or comments. I put out videos at least once a week, and the Mother of Monsters will feature in some of them. If you like her, let us know. Ciao, Grimlings.
Tell him I was more than just a great set of boobs. I was also an incredible pair of legs.